Pip.Services Toolkit is built around componentized microservices design, and component is one of the most fundamental concepts that developers shall understand. In Pip.Services, component can be any piece of code that implements component lifecycle as defined in the toolkit. The toolkit supports 7 states in the component lifecycle, starting from create to destroy. For obvious reasons, create and destroy states cannot be skipped, but all other states are strictly optional and can be implemented by defining a certain interfaces. To make component configurable, developers shall implement IUnrefenceable interface that has a single method, configure, that receives a set of configuration parameters. To assign external references to the component shall implement IUnrefenceable interface with a single method set references. It receives references as a key value map as is defined by locator pattern. For components that need explicit definitions when they can open connections and close connection and free system resources, there is an openable and closable interface. If components assign resources on demand, they may need only closable interface with close methods. For components they should be opened explicitly, there is an openable interface that adds 2 additional methods, is open and open. And there is an IUnrefenceable interface that is called when component should free all the external references. This interface is rarely used, mostly by the components that will be removed from the container during the runtime. Here's on the slide you can see a sample component as defined by the Pip.Services toolkit. It's just a regular class that implements 3 interfaces: configurable, referenceable, and openable. In the configure method, it reads from the configuration parameters param1 and param2. In set references, it gets reference to the logger using its descriptor. And in open and close, we just write log messages to our logger. To manually manage lifecycle, you just need to call those methods. Usually it's done in the automated tests. You will create component, you will pass a configuration parameters through the configure method, you will assign references through set references method, then you open and close it. But most of the time component lifecycle is managed by inversion of control container. To use the container, you need to create instance of process container class or any other container supported by Pip.Services toolkit. It could be Service Fabric, Service Container, or AWS Lambda container. And in the container, you should add factory classes that know how to instantiate components using their locators or descriptors. And the process container will read configuration files where it defines components, their configurations and dependencies. And finally, you just need to instantiate container and run it. So the container will launch, will read configuration, find components. Using component factories, it will create components, pass configuration parameters, set references to reference components inside the container to each other, and then it will open and close them as needed. To learn more about Pip.Services toolkit, visit our website at www.pipservices.org and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.